Greetings Internet and welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This is a introductory video regarding a game that I want to do, and I did mention in my ramble that I'll do for December, and that is Caesar's Legions. So I've done all the counter clipping and I've read the rules once. I'm probably going to need to read them again, but I thought I'd do a video to show you what I've done, what I'm thinking, etc. So let's go down to the map and have a look. Well, before we even get to the map, there's the box. I don't like it. I mentioned that when I was doing the unboxing. Yeah, I don't like it. It's something about the way this guy's head is turned. It almost looks like his neck is snapped, and the way he's holding his sword, that here, it's almost skeletal. Yeah, it unfortunately the box, and this is probably why I didn't pick it up in the day when I was buying games from Avalon Hill. I honestly can't remember, and then this game just completely skipped me, and yeah, until one of you guys that commented mentioned, have you played Caesar's Legion? I don't know, I'm just using a voiceover. I have no idea what this guy sounds like, and I thought, no, I haven't. I then went and looked on the Board Game Geek, and I thought, okay, I've got an interest in Roman stuff. So I then looked at some of the pictures. Again, the cover art was like, yeah, I remember that cover. Don't like it. But you can't judge a book, and it seems like a game, by the cover. A lot of people said they love the cover. So again, it's strokes for folks, isn't it? So yeah. Anywho, what have I done? I said I've clipped all the counters, and yeah, I mentioned in my unboxing, yeah, these old style counters, you can clip them, but you've always got that little bit of tough because they joined them in the center. Why they did that? Maybe that was just a restriction. So you always end up with just a little. If I bring a counter up here, can you get into focus? There he is. Yeah, almost there. Oh, go on, camera. You know you want to, but look at that bit on the side there. Yeah, what can I do about that? Yes, I know it's a definite first world problem. It doesn't matter. The counter will work, it'll fit in the hex, you clip them nice, they're as tight as they're going to be, and you're going to be looking at them about 2 foot away. It doesn't matter. It does. I don't know why, but it does. Moving on, let's now go down to the board. So let's swing the camera, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit here so you can see the entirety of the board. Okay, camera hasn't got enough space, so let's just move that up a little bit. There we go. And the box falls over. Yay! Yeah, you can tell this is in real time. Yay! There we go. Back up again. There. So the tactical cards, I'm not sure what do they mention that they're optional? I'm not sure if they're optional or must-be's. Tactical combat doesn't mention they're optional, so I'm going to have to think of a way to do these, because obviously if I know what one side's going to do, then the other guy will, the other part of me will do something else. But you know, that I don't want it to be completely random, because you know, if one side's attacking and then it randomly draws the withdrawal, it just seems a bit odd. So you've got stand and defend, refuse the right, refuse the left, enfilade right, withdraw, enfilade left, reinforce, and frontal assault. So I've got to think of a way to randomly determine these cards, but also keep sort of realistic options. I mean, maybe the withdrawal card being used some of the time, part of the time, or primarily when they're outnumbered. So I've got to work out some formula. But if any of you guys have got ideas, or if you've soloed this before in the past, let me know in the comments, because I won't be starting this for a couple of days at least. Because I want to read the rules again, make sure I've got, I mean, the rules aren't complex, but there's a few things there that are unusual. This is scenario 1, Caesar's conquest of Gaul. And we've got effectively five pages of rules, not even, because the front cover. And we've also got scenario 1's got some special rules for it. And then I do want to do, like I do in most of my games, if there's scenarios in the box, I want to do them. And each of the other scenarios is almost like a programmed instruction before they had program instruction. You play scenario 1, and then scenario 2 adds some new rules. Scenario 3 adds some new rules. So by the time you're playing the 5th scenario, you've got a lot. It's the full booklet, which is 15 pages. So again, not earth-shatteringly difficult, not earth-shatteringly much, but enough that I think it deserves another read before I actually set up and start putting counters on the board. So what have we got here? So we've obviously got these 2 lots of cards. Yay. I've marked each of the villages on the board that the Romans have got to take. This is the German force pool, and this over here is the Roman force pool. Let's go through what this scenario is about. So, how to win. As Caesar, you must take and hold undisputedly all 6 villages west of the Rhine. So this here, all the way, is the Rhine. So the 6 villages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is one more right down here, but it does say west of the Rhine and north of row QQ. Row QQ is there. So that one isn't clouded. So I've marked all the ones that are. So as the Romans, they have to take all of those villages within 12 turns. Then they go on about something. To hold or menace a village, you must occupy the village hex at the game end without playing a withdraw tactical card in your 12th turn. I don't know what it means by the word menace, because I haven't found anything in the rules that mentions the word menace. However, I am going to do a look at errata and Board Game Geek, see if anyone else has asked that question. Because when I was reading that, I thought, what? Menace? Does that mean I have to growl at the hex? You know, does that mean I can go and give it the 1 finger salute? What does it mean? I don't know. As for Germans, you must maintain a fighting force west of the Rhine. Remember, so this is west. Causing Caesar enough casualties and embarrassment that, afraid of a recall from Rome, he will offer a separate peace. Again, so how did you cause embarrassment and casualties? Casualties easy, you eliminate Roman units. If you capture an eagle, regardless of how long you hold it, you automatically win. Okay. Fair enough. I'll go through what that means in a minute. Board alterations. At this point in time, there were no forts, roads, or bridges across the Rhine. Fair enough. Treat these hexes according to the other terrain. So we have some forts and roads, the red lines on the map. Let me now zoom in. I've showed you the overall map. There we go. So these red lines are roads. They don't exist. These are forts. They don't exist. Okay. And the bridges across the Rhine don't exist. So e.g. a rough road terrain hex would be treated as a rough terrain hex. Fair enough. Then it goes on about the forces. All right, so let me introduce you to a Roman legion, which is here. All right, which is also shown in the book. There we go. They show the forces there for the Romans. So the Roman player receives 6 legions. So there's 6 of these little stacks. And the legions have 10 cohorts. To represent the 10 cohort legion, you have one of these 45, goes off camera, there we go. One of these 45 fours. Can I zoom a little bit more? There we go. Yeah, the black on red is not brilliant. I would personally have done that with white on red, but back in the day, we are talking, what's it, 73 this? Ish. I don't know now actually, hold on. 75, there we go, 75. Maybe they couldn't do white on red. No matter. So the 45-4, it actually represents 8 cohorts. And then the other 2 are represented by these 2 5-5s. So the 8 5s are 40. So this counter by itself has got more strength because it's compact. It has the 8 legions. So yeah, if I broke that down, it would only equal 40 rather than 45. So there's 6 of those, plus the eagle. Each legion has its own eagle, and the number of the eagle is represented on the counter. Yeah, it's very tiny. This is why I got one of these. You know, so I can, wait, does it show it up any larger? A little bit. There we go. Yeah. So they've got 6 of those. No more than 2 of which may be cavalry. Oh no, then it goes on. So then 8 cohorts of auxiliaries. No more than 2 of which may be cavalry. These are auxiliaries. It says knocking the camera. I'm going to zoom out a little bit now. Ooh, there we go. How much did it say? 8. 8 cohorts of auxiliaries. So how many have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I need to remove 2 of those. That's 6, 7, 8 cohorts. They'll refer to them as cohorts. So there we go, cohorts of auxiliaries. And then obviously the dude himself, Mr. Caesar. There he is. So 6 of those legions, plus that, plus Caesar. And these may enter, so let's just zoom out again, anywhere. These enter any hex on the west edge of the board. So you can see from here, I assume all the way down to there, even though that village is not important, doesn't mean I can't enter down here. But they must all enter from the same hex and on the first turn. Placement on the first playable hex counts against the initial movement allowance. So moving on in a hex, that'll be 1, 2, and so on. The Roman player moves first. And as it says, Julius Caesar counter is included as the supreme commander. Okay, that's fair enough. I can come on anywhere as the Romans. But what about the Germans? German players receives 12 cavalry, 24 light infantry, and 45 medium infantry warbands. Right. Let's zoom in on the Germans. I've got to stop this false German accent. Shut up, Sibley. Okay. Each one of these is a mob. It's got the 3 lines on it. For the warbands, that counts as a mob. And a mob is made up of 2. He says we're getting the rules out now. 2 warbands, which are the ones representing the little, in NATO terms, 2 being a battalion, 3 being a regiment. Well, that's a warband, that's a mob. 2 warbands equals 1 mob. And to make up the 45 medium infantry warbands, you're going to need to collect them into mobs. So there, 10, 20, 30, 40, 45 warbands made into mobs. Now notice the difference here. You've got 10 4s, 11 3s. So you can get, it's the same, made up of the same 5 4 units, but you can change them into 11 threes rather than 10 fours. There is even a 9-5, so I could have broken some of these down and constructed 9-5s, but I would prefer the strength. I could have put more 10-4s in, but I thought a few 11s dotted around, making the hex a little bit tougher. 12 cavalry. Well, each of these cavalry units is made up of 2. Remember, it's got the 3 little, so it's a mob of cavalry. So there's 6 actual counters there. Same with the light infantry. They get 24, so those are again mobs, and those are... Try to sneeze there with pressing this first. This thing is still not as reliable as I need, so you might have heard a bit of a sneeze there. I do apologise. Honestly, nothing went on the board or on the pieces. So that makes up, and they've got this dude, Artifice. Arivistus. Yeah. He may take one mob site. It tells me that I'm allowed to do what I just described. The German receives no other chief counters, and the German player sets up first anywhere west of the Rhine. I think that's about it. Rivers. For the purpose of this scenario, neither side may cross the Rhine nor enter a major river hex. So that's these, okay, then that line behind them. So they can't enter it, they can't cross it. They're also restricted. You can't cross into, I'm going to zoom out a little bit again. You can't cross into this area of the map via here, because that's not a major river hex anymore, but you still can't cross into that province. Actually, the province is there. I'm crossing the westernmost border of the Hermanduru tribe in keeping with the above restrictions. So yeah, you can't sort of come around. And why would you want to? Because all the Germans are here. Yeah, that's effectively the victory conditions and the units that need to set up. Now here's the problem. My major problem with playing two-sided solo games is I know what one side's going to do in my head, and I therefore know what the other side's going to do in my head. So there's nothing surprising. There's no... It diminishes the excitement for me. When I did War and Peace with using the Russian campaign, the excitement of that was determined. I put a die roll in where the French going to go St. Petersburg, where they're going to continue on to Moscow. And I could vary what each side might do. Plus also the battles weren't odds based. You know, the battle sequence for War and Peace was dynamic. This, by the looks of it, yes, it does have these cards, but it's still fairly 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1, etc. And then I can work out the odds and so on. So that's the first thing. I'm not going to sit and work out odds. Okay, I'm always going to set up and know approximately the strength. But once the warbands are set up in the hex, I'm not going to keep micromanaging the numbers. If it's 2 factors off a 3-to-1, it's 2 factors off a 3-to-1. Tough luck. The next thing, where these Romans come on, so if I set up the Germans, I know where I want to bring the Romans. I'm not going to know where I'm going to bring in the Romans. I'm going to put numbers on the board, such as this, and go 1, 2, etc., all the way down that front line. Then I'm going to roll a dice when it comes to the Romans' first turn, and that is what that hex, and let's say 2 hexes on either side of it, is where Caesar and his Romans come in. They've got to come in 1 hex anyway, but I will give that little leeway. So that's what I intend to do. So I'm going to be able to set up the Germans without knowing where exactly the Romans are going to be coming in. Then when it comes to the battles, I'm going to not go too detailed, and then I've got to work out something for these cards. Again, any suggestions in the comments will be much appreciated. And that's it, really. It's ready to go. The counters are all clipped. The rules need to be read once more. I can do that, 5 pages. That might take me, what, 20 minutes, half an hour? Yeah. The other thing is, obviously, this table is what I use for, because I'm restricted to one table, Tarot. Tarot is currently on a shelf waiting to be continued. But I want to play this at the sort of the same time. Do a couple of turns of this, record them, boom, boom. I intend to do, I'm not sure how long it's going to be. War and Peace, I intended to do a French and a Russian turn for one video, but I try not to make my videos much more than 45 minutes because, that's what I find as my viewing time is about my sort of limit. Yes, I could watch a video, and then if I do watch a video more than that, I normally split it into 2 or 3 watch-alongs or watch sessions. So that's why I try to get my videos to be about that length. He says, adjusting his camera because it keeps on wobbling. Why are you wobbling? Yeah. So any other suggestions you can come up with making this more playable as a solo experience? Again, I don't know if anyone's done it solo, but that's what I'm intending to do. So let me bring this back up to finish off the vid. I hope that wasn't too much of a drone on and on and on. I'm quite excited to play this. It's something that was, as I said, completely off my radar. And now that I'm actually clipped the counters, looking at the rules and the terrain, this scenario looks fairly basic. I think it's designed as an intro scenario. I have no idea how the Legion will actually work compared to the warbands. 12 turns seems quite sufficient to take 6 villages, considering most of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are within 5 hexes of the western map edge. But where will the Romans come? So wherever the Romans will come will dictate how far the other villages are. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I'll probably start shooting this week. That's the plan. So, but I'll be uploading this video. Hopefully you guys can answer some of those questions that I asked. That would be appreciated. I noticed there's, on the unboxing, there was a lot of views, which was, and a lot of likes. So that was great for the channel. So hopefully me playing it will be great for the channel too. But more importantly, I hope you guys like it. And if you've got it, get it out and play it. That's the whole point. Play games, have fun, and enjoy yourself. So until then, until next video, bye internet.